Kasper, Mikael, hey, congratulations on your new documentary, End of Quiet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, more of a congratulations is being showcased at Tribeca. How do you gentlemen feel about that?
I'm great. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure. We've been working on this film for 6 years, so it's we're really thrilled to be able to showcase it there, and can't wait for the world to see it.
Yes, yeah, we're flying into to New York on Friday, and then on Saturday we have the first public screening, and three of our characters are coming to Tribeca as well. So it will be really, hopefully, a very memorable experience because they haven't seen anything, the characters, but they're very excited, and yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Most excellent. So let's ask that basic question first is how did this documentary actually came about? What sparked you to make this film?
It's one of those films that literally just came dropping to us. Basically, I was in a bookstore and looked through some photography books, and all of a sudden I saw this giant telescope dish. And there were some people walking underneath, and I thought, this is interesting, who's living under such a massive structure? And it was Greenbank, and it was in West Virginia. And I pitched Michael the idea, and he thought, wow, we have to go there. This is incredible, people living without cell phones and modern connectivity. I mean, how is that? How are people how are people living like it was the 1990s? There must be a film there, and we went. And here, 6 years later, we are showcasing it at Tribeca. It's fantastic.
So what did you start with first? Trying to look for the subjects that live in the area, or did you contact the the scientists at that telescope area?
Yeah, we kind of did both. We knew that we really wanted to speak with someone at the observatory to film the observatory, because it's not just that one huge dish; it's several dishes or telescopes, and the whole area is kind of surrounded by mystique, and it's just quite an inspiring place to be around. So that was one thing high up on the agenda, and the other one was obviously to try and get a feel for the place by speaking to the locals, which we were able to do quite quickly after arriving. Um, Greenbank, or the whole quiet zone is a place where people don't mind a friendly conversation, just as people used to back in the days. There are no distractions, no major distractions, no phones, no computers, no tablets. So we started chatting with people, and one meeting, one encounter often led to another, and we soon had a bunch of very very interesting characters to deal with.
I found this documentary very interesting is because, we always joke about dead zones, but this is a quiet zone, but are there a lot of quiet zones around, around the world, the planet, or this is just a very unique situation because it's so close to a telescope? What do you guys think?
I,
You want to take that conclusion?
that's a good question. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, as far as we know, I mean, this is one of the few places in America, for sure. There might be some places differently around the globe, which I don't know, but definitely in America and in the US, this is one of the few quiet zones. It's also by law, actually. Uh, it was set up, the National Radio Quiet Zone was set up in the 1950s, and it's quite a
Late
big,
50s, yeah.
yeah, late 50s. There's quite a big area that is where you can't use uh, these guys.
Yes, it's
Uh,
true.
so it's very unique, and especially very unique for the States.
To show the lives of the locals in this quiet zone is quite it's quite different. But as documentarian yourself, you also have to rely upon your own technology because not only you're filming them with your cameras. I mean, what was it like for you being there for 6 years itself and trying to stop using certain technologies while in that area?
Well, we were on and off for 6 years. We have to say we didn't live there, but when we were there, we had to prepare. I mean, usually when you make, if you want to have big high quality sound, you need what is called a microport, which is wireless. It's a wireless device that you put on the, it's a small microphone you put on the person you're interviewing, and then it's connected to the camera. So, but we had to bring in long cables, special made, because we were not allowed to use this wireless technology as this as a microport. That's one thing that we had to, which was really different, and also just to connect to people. You know, you have to literally drive to you know to make an appointment. You can't just text or message or something like that. It's just different. Literally how it was in the 1990s. I mean, the same feeling of technology. It's offline.
Yeah, which means usually it means slower. Usually means once you finally get hold of someone, you can spend a little bit more time with that person. Just it was a very positive experience in that regard. That it was a renewal of the verbal conversation, face to face conversation, and we realized quickly that this is something we miss back home. To be able to just hang out outside, outdoors, talk to people, no distractions. It was quite inspiring.
Now, with the locals themselves that live in the area, how did you convince them to be part of this project, and why is it so important for you to follow them for years, including into changes as they start to adapt into normal society?
Yeah, we try to be really honest and upfront with our intentions from day one. We said that we are fascinated by the place. We don't know much about it, but we would love to, give an accurate portrayal of life here. And do you, sir, or you know, anyone else we approach, do you mind talking with us? Do you mind would you mind if our camera we spend some time with you? And some people asked us not to do that in a kind of way, but most of the characters that we really wanted to have in the film, they agreed.
Do you folks during this entire discovery, one of the things that seems a subject that's brought to your documentary over and over again is the idea of science and the idea of religion and God. And it seems like they love talking about that, especially and I want to say it's because of the culture of West Virginia and living so close to a science laboratory. But tell us about touching that subject in your documentary, for End of Quiet.
I mean, I think it was important for us to capture a feeling, no, cinematically, of a feeling of otherness or something larger, something re about reflection. And what we did was that we found out that the best time of day to shoot to get that feeling was shooting during magic hour and dusk and night time. And what we also realized that actually the characters, while shooting them at that time, also gave them sort of a feeling of a reflection about bigger issues within, looking up in the sky, but also bigger issue among when they talk with each other. And so it kind of invited that bigger conversation. And we just hooked onto that because we thought that was fascinating, that somehow that allowed the way that we shot it, but also the theme, the place, the characters allow that conversation, which we thought was really, really fascinating. And hopefully gives a kind of a cinematic experience as well.
Throughout this entire debate of filming, did you find the locals more happy of living in the quiet zone?
I mean, it's a two-edged sword, so to speak, because also, I mean, they do like it, but like us, they're also curious about the world, and if I'm sure if they had the chance, and if there were cell phone towers, they will probably be the first one hooking on to them and using these, right, like we do. Um, so in that ways, it has like it's a double-edged sword. I think they will. I can only. I don't know, but I hope I'm not saying something that's not true. But I have a feeling that they like to keep it their way of living. I mean, that's. But who knows? Yeah. Have you got anything? Sorry, Mike.
No, we have this scene where two of the girls, the two of the teenage girls are talking about this situation where, on the one hand, the lack of connectivity means all kinds of challenges, um, um, from making it hard to apply for work to making it harder to stay in touch over social media and so on and so forth. But at the same time, they come to the conclusion that they wouldn't want to leave this place because they are so used to the slow pace. They're used to the kindness of both friends and strangers, um, and there's a trust in this little bubble that they live in. There's a trust, and there's this feeling that you will never be left alone, and they actually credit the lack of connectivity to that trust. That was a really interesting and important scene for us too. Where they're kind of dealing with both of these aspects of this double-edged sword that Kasper mentioned.
And
Well said.
another way of looking at this double-edged sword is that, to some extent, is one of the themes in the film is that we have never been more connected in the world with iPhones, etc. But somehow we have never been more disconnected or diverted somehow. So there's like it gives a lot of pleasure and etc. You know, the way we are connected in kind of modern life, but at the same time, it also maybe we're not that connected actually. So that's one of the themes that we're exploring as well.
It's the irony of this huge satellite is because the entire purpose of this telescope is to connect with the rest
Yes.
of the universe. But in order to do that,
Yeah.
we have to be quiet.
Yes, exactly. And it needs quiet. Yeah.
So true. Well, let me wrap it up with one last question. As people have a chance to watch this at Tribeca and hopefully more at more places down the road, I'm going to ask both of you is what is the one most important take you hope they walk away with after watching this film?
You know, our film explores what we're risking losing when one of the quietest place on Earth is slowly eroded by modern life and connectivity. That's my take.
Yeah, I think we try to make a film where we, remind the audience that there's a value in everyday conversations. There's a value in hanging out with your friends or your family, and that there's, the grass is not always greener on the other side. You might have your little issues within this little bubble, but it's a nice bubble after all. We always felt very. It was strange leaving the quiet zone because it's such a pure place in many regards, and I think that is what we try to show in this film. But there are issues obviously with this place, but it's still quite pure, quite beautiful, and yeah, we hope that the film allows the audience to take a little journey into this world for 80 minutes or so.
It is indeed a very unique world. Kasper, Mikael, thank you very much for speaking to us for the end of Quiet, and have fun at Tribeca.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great
Thank
questions.
you.
Thank you so much.